is that?
It's my bone.
God damn it, Cartman!
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was... How would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Garrison?
Holy shit, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Shit My Bad. I'm your host on the scene. The air is clean, and I'm light and I'm green. Your boy, MSG. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Matthew_Sheffer. Each and every week, I am joined by my two compadres here as we break down South Park episodes in linear fashion. And this week, we're up to season 3, episode number 14, The Red Badge of Gainus. So go ahead and stick around as I introduce these clowns, ladies and gentlemen. Coming from the Southwest, he's your host for the most, is now really on the West Coast. Yeah, boy.
What happening, Sunshine Kid? What happening?
Just chilling, hanging out, relaxing, chillaxing, eating some, peanut butter and jelly on toast. Oh, wasn't meant to rhyme. One of my favorite all-time bands is Sublime. Ladies and gentlemen as well, returning from New Mexico, not with DCW last week. That's what I told people. I was like, I was with DCW, hanging out with Russo. But no, he was down in New Mexico, launching a brand new promotion. Ladies on the gentlemen. That's right. Ladies on.
I'm all about that. I'm for that.
He's crunchy on the outside like a hard granola bar. But soft on the inside like your fresh nougaty Milky Way bite. His name is Dirty Joe
Damn. Oh, wait. Damn. I looked the wrong way.
It's all right. Edit that out in post.
This man knows how to introduce people.
It's from a ring announcer. This motherfucker's coming after my job.
Hey,
man.
I'm just trying to be like you, Joe.
I learned from you.
I'm growing my beard out like you. I'm trying to be exactly like you.
I'm loaded up on schnapps.
Hey, schnapps. Oh, you like schnapps? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's another episode of South Park. And what we do here is we review the episode in order, kind of give you a little breakdown of our thoughts. So episode synopsis, kind of going over the different plot points of the episode, mixing with some clips, which you'll hear. And then we end each episode with what did Kenny say, revealing what Kenny's lines were in this episode, trivia, pop culture, and anything else that's on our mind, along with what we liked, maybe what we did diss, or maybe what we did diss. I can't even say the word we didn't like, because there was nothing to dislike in this episode. That's why it's hard to say right now, because it's a fucking fantastic episod. This is one of Cartman's greatest episodes ever. It is the epitome of Cartman's manipulation. It shows his ability to play different characters. So he's got range. God, Cartman is so good in this episode, and we're going to get all into it here. So, as we mentioned, it's called The Red Badge of Gainus. It's the 14th episode of the season 3, and the 45th overall episode of South Park. It originally aired on November 24th, 1999. Hey, I like how when we review these shows, sometimes we end up in the same month or even on the same day.
Yeah.
We do a specific.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. We've done that a few times already.
Yeah, I know. Well, here we are in the month of November. I mean, I know we got close with the Halloween episode, which you can go back and listen to, as well as Starvin' Marvin, which I have an interesting thought on the name Marvin here later on. But the plot opens up with the episode beginning with the boys, of course, practicing. What they're going to be doing is a Civil War reenactment. Now, in their part, they're the band. So they're practicing their band playing. And Cartman...
now, is he wrong in this situation where you got to beat the fuck out of the drums to rock out? Cleveland, yeah!
That's why anyone plays the drum. I had a snare drum, so for whatever school Christmas concert, they're like, oh, you own a drum? We'll have you for the little drummer boy. And there's like 5 of us, and we're all supposed to just like bum 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 because little drummer boy, and I just start going ape shit. I start bashing my cymbal, and I totally ruined the timeless Christmas classic in front of a gym of, probably at least a few hundred parents.
How old were you?
Oh, let's see, third grade. So I was 8 or 9. I knew what I was doing.
Okay, but the next day at school, were you cool? Were you popular? Were people like, "Fuck yeah, Joe, good job"?
Hell no. I was never popular at school.
Oh man, it wasn't like regular school, where if you fucking do something and act out, people the next day are "Hey guys, kid."
I firmly believe had anyone else done that, they would have been the king of the school for a day, but nah.
Well, getting into your, I think, question, Scoop, as someone who has performed on stage across the country as well as a musician, I would argue it depends. It depends on the song. It depends on the situation, the vibe, when it's time. Now, if you give the drummer the opportunity and he takes his drum solo, then I fully expect him to beat the shit out of that drums at that point. But it also depends on the music. Like blues, hell yeah. Rock, hell yeah. Reggae, probably not. You probably want to stay in your pocket. You can add different things and different effects, but you probably don't want to get too far off the rhythm because the rhythm and the bass hold down that groove. You know what I mean? So it really depends on the genre of music. So, but in this case, Cartman, as you mentioned there, Scoop, is beating the crap out of these drums.
Yeah, you gotta hit him, yeah, Cleveland, you ain't right.
I'm playing the drum. Well, you have to hit it softer. Hey, you can't just hit a drum. You have to beat the shit out of it. Shut your kick it on your drum. That's how you rock, dude.
Yeah, and Kyle's not very happy about it, as well as Stan, the general of this marching band. He's not too happy and tells Cartman, "Look, I'm going to take this opportunity away from you." And then Cartman's like, no, yeah, I do it. Come on. I can do it. And so he tries again. And unfortunately, he rocks out too hard once more. Stan then makes the executive decision that he's going to play the flute. And Cartman's like, "Man, flute's okay." And then, you know what? Let's go ahead and just do it now. Because, he's only got one line in the whole episode, really, doesn't he? One or two lines? All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump right now into...
What did Kenny say?
What did Kenny say? Yeah. All right, guys, let's get into what did Kenny say here. Kenny didn't have a lot of lines, and his first line here in this is Cartman mentioning, he goes, "No, yeah, I don't want to play a flute. Flutes are gay." And Kenny says, "Aw, flutes are gay?" There's going to be a later on point here, which we'll get into, but Cartman actually says, "Yes, enjoy your freedom, gentlemen. Soon you'll be my property. Come, Kenny, come, fight for us, and I'll make you so you get lots of plunder and women." And Kenny says, "Woohoo!" And that's it. That's literally...
That's what Kenny said.
Yeah, pal. That's what Kenny said. Kenny doesn't have a lot of lines, so we wanted to get that out of the way. Right back into the plot here. As we mentioned, Kenny's upset after Cartman says, "He's gay." But Kyle has had enough. He asks Cartman to switch instruments with them. Cartman ends up breaking the drum and leaves in a ha-ha. So he leaves. We then jump over now to the reenactment of the battle at Tamarack Hill, which is directed by Grandpa Marsh. Now, in this episode, we find out that Grandpa Marsh's first name is Marvin. So isn't it interesting that we have a alien from another, or now not an alien, but another boy from Ethiopia named Marvin the Marsh or Marvin Marsh. And we've also got Stan's father named Marvin Marsh.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
It could have just been something that they didn't realize.
Who adopted Starvin' Marvin?
Good.
Could his last name? They just let's name him Marvin, and then they took the last name of Marsh.
Or Broflovsky, wasn't it? Which one actually adopted? Was it Cartman?
Who got the Tanko Sports Watch? That's what I think it's what it was.
Yeah, who got the watch? I think it was Cartman. I think it was. He got the sweet watch.
Tanko Sports Watch.
And they were supposed to share it.
I think it was Cartman's credit card, but it was Stan who made the call. Because then they had to decide on who, got to share the tank. I get you to take those boat rides on this man, guys. Right? It's my mom's credit card. So, I believe it was Stan who actually made the call. Now, they weren't expecting to get a boy. They were expecting to take the sports watch.
Yeah.
That's how it started. You can go back and listen to that review. On our, I think it's just audio format there, because I don't think that was part of season 1. We had not done video yet, or we did, but I didn't save it and I didn't upload it because I didn't want it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, now we're getting back into the reenactment, and the reenactment of the Civil War, which was of course fought from 1861 to 1865, and they're talking about the Battle of Tamarack Hill. Cartman then comes in as Stan, Kyle, and Kenny are like, "Where's Cartman? I hope he shows up. He better show up." And then Cartman comes in, and he's dressed up as a Confederate Army soldier, General Cartman. General Cartman. Yeah, the Confederate high. Yeah, the Confederate high. Yeah.
Grandpa Marvin Marsh, the only man old enough to have actually seen the Civil War reenactment of 1924.
Wow, dude, your grandpa still isn't dead? Dude, that's not cool. Good morning, gentlemen. Cartman, what the hell are you doing? Yeah, you're dressed up like the South. Yes, this year I've decided to fight for the glorious South. Screw you guys. And may I say that we're going to whoop your ass this time.
We are going to beat you, guy. So he ends up making a bet with Stan and Kyle that the Confederates are going to win. And he goes so far as saying that he's willing to bet them that if he wins, they'll be his slaves for a month. And Stan and Kyle, of course, being on the Union side, agree to this, with no hesitation. Yeah, of course. Okay, this guy's an idiot. Sure. And they even make that comment like he's such a dumbass. Because Cartman, either not being aware, or of course we'll find out as the episode continues on. Well, I guess we do find out at the end that he's not aware. But Cartman's not aware of the history, so he doesn't understand. He probably opened up the book and was looked up Civil War, read the first chapter. General Lee, that bad kid, I mean that guy. So he probably didn't even read till the end to understand how everything broke down. He just figured. Go ahead.
Or he looked up who the best of the Confederates was. Who the badass Confederates.
Yeah, I was also going to say it was also, I think initially too, which we're going to talk about here. I think his whole initial plan probably was just only one battle. He probably just thought, if I can win this reenactment, they'll be my slaves from on. So I'm sure Cartman did initially have the forethought to take it as far as it goes. And so Cartman, now dressed as Confederate Robert Lee, makes his bet with Stan. And after making that bet, they're all getting ready on. And Cartman tells Uncle Jimbo the South should win, so that the South side in the reenactment will not be teased for losing, as they are every year. And they, first they're like, no, that's not how it works, blah, blah, blah. Right. So nobody would agree with him at first, and they went about their reenactment. And then, Marvin the Marsh. And now I'm introducing the oldest living member to see the reenactment of 1924, Marvin Marsh. So that, they didn't even obviously, in the late 90s, I would hope at that point, no one. Well, if they were, that's a freaking miracle. If somebody had been around, I was around during the Civil War. I said new millennium. You'd have to be 150, 160.
They were they would have had to have been 134 at the absolute youngest.
Jesus.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then you're not a child. But you can't, that's what I'm saying. You can't really remember it. So that's why I was trying to average an extra 5 or 6 years.
So yeah, 140. You're right.
Yeah. To actually remember that, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, for Marvin the Martian, Marvin the Marsh and his Union squadron, they are thwarted in this reenactment as well. Everything's going down, and it's kind of stupid.
Wow, so this is what it was like.
Hey, he took the bell.
He can't do that.
The Confederacy doesn't take the bell.
Hooray for the South! Cartman, you can't do that!
God damn it, now we have to start over.
They're pretending, like the pretending of the Civil War fighting is so stupid. They're like, I got you. And then like people in the crowd, wow.
You
Wow.
shoot your blanket into the air and say you're dead. If someone says I killed you, you got to play dead.
You see people in the crowd, they're like, wow, this is how it really happened. And you see like
but they were like into it.
No,
They were,
but
like,
not.
into it.
Well, no, not in the first one because this is what I'm talking about, the comical nature of this reenactment. The crowd is like, wow. Oh, you mean the crowd was really into it? For sure.
Yeah.
Because the crowd was like, okay. And the crowd was like, wow, this is how it really happened. And then you see the people like reenacted, and you just see like one Union soldier holding a Confederate soldier in a headlock, and he's punching him, but they're like looking at the crowd and smiling. It was just very comical. Obviously not realistic, but Cartman takes it upon himself. The only way to win this battle, I guess, during the Battle of Tamarack was to retrieve the bell. Cartman,
Hey, what's he
no
doing?
shit's given. He goes and grabs the bell. People in the crowd are like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like, this is not what
What's
happened.
he doing?
I mean, did you guys ever know about the Battle of Tamarack? Is that a real thing? Does anybody know? Should we Google this?
I was going to Google it this morning and I didn't because I figured it was made up because I don't think
Battle of Tamarack took place on November 24th, 1862, just outside of South Park. Okay, I don't know if this is real. Hold on.
No, I don't think so.
That's South Park fandom. Sorry.
Civil
Yeah.
War.
I was
It might
going
have
to
been-
say, I don't think the Civil War made it that far west, though.
I think they're making fun of the Battle of Cane Hill that was fought during the American Civil War on November 28, 1862. Because that's what they say this is, November 24th, 1862, and the Battle of Cane Hill
Battle of Cane Hill was fought in American Civil War. Yeah, you're right.
1862.
Near Arkansas, near the town of Cane Hill. Yeah, Union troops under Brigadier General James G. Blunt had entered northwestern Arkansas. Major General Thomas Hinman in the Confederate Army sent a force under John S. Marmaduke to Cane Hill to intercept Blunt. Blunt attacked on November 28th and quickly broke Marmaduke's first line. An effective rear guard action by Joseph O'Shelby allowed the Confederates to pick up the. Okay, you can go read the rest on Wikipedia, motherfuckers.
And my dumbass, every time you said Marmaduke, went right to the dog.
Marmaduke, the dog comic strip.
Yeah,
never liked.
I just got.
Dog.
Neither did I.
I don't know. Why does it trigger it? If you don't like it, why does it trigger it, Joe?
ADD. I don't know.
Maybe you should pick the candy bar. What the?
There's a Marmaduke candy bar?
I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway.
So Cartman gets the bell. No one's very happy. And then Jimbo has to re-explain to him, like, since some people got confused on how this goes down, you can't get the bell. You have to let the Union win. And then Cartman starts to give his speech. Gentlemen, why do we have to let the Union win?
Gentlemen, we can win this battle. Sure, we could lose, and tonight we can go back to our families and say, we did it! We lost like we were supposed to! Aren't we proud? Or we take that hill. We take that hill, and when we stand tall upon it, we hold our heads high, and we yell, not this year! This year belongs to the Confederacy!
Ends up convincing them as they're all drinking schnapps and getting drunk the year after you.
Flavored schnapps.
More flavored schnapps. That's sponsored this event.
Sounds so scary. Like it can go either one of two ways. Like it's amazing or it's just absolute trash and make you sick as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not a big alcohol fan, so I wouldn't go on, Joe.
Yeah, like if they're gonna make something that tastes like s'mores, I wouldn't think it would be schnapps, and that might be the joke.
Right.
But like you would think it'd be like amaretto and Bailey's or something like that. But I wouldn't think of schnapps. Like I wouldn't like when I think of schnapps, I think of Rumpelmints and stuff like that. Peppermint schnapps are great.
Peppermint schnapps.
I think I had peppermint schnapps once. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Moving on from there, we saw that Cartman was able to convince these drunken Union rednecks to fight with him and take the bell, take Tamarack Hill, and win, right? So they're all getting drunk, and they, end up coming to the conclusion. Jimbo and Mr. Garrison were talking, and Mr. Garrison's like, "You're not serious, are you?" And Jimbo's like, "Hell yeah, I'm serious. Every year we got it. For the last 20 years, I've had to go to the after party, get made fun of all night about how the South lost." I was like, "Damn, dude, that's really weighing on you."
Yeah,
it's rough, Mr. Garrison.
Like, I don't get it. Like, but why? If you didn't like it, why do you continue to do it? Like, that was my other thought too. Like, if you didn't like it this much, like after the first to 5 times, it's your fault now, dude. Like, you want that abuse. I think is what it really comes down to. Well, they are convinced, and in this next upcoming battle, as Marvin Marsh starts to begin, the battle of Tamarack took place. So he starts talking, and the Civil War reenactors, that being the South, they come in charging this time, like it's a real fucking fight, and beat the shit out of everybody, and they win. And Cartman thinks he's won. He's like, I win. We got it. Stan and Kyle are like, "That's not how this works, fat ass. Plus, the bet was if the South wins the war." Cartman's like, "I hate you guys. I hate you so very much. So very much. So very, very much." So from there on, now we've got a upset Cartman, if you will, because obviously he thought that he was going to get them to be his slaves right away, right? But they didn't. So he eventually ends up convincing them once more to march to Topeka. And they arrive in Topeka, right? And it's a nice little, quiet little, beautiful little bustling little town, right? Mailman's out and about. All of a sudden, the whole town comes to a stop, and boom, we see the Confederates marching towards them. And
what's that noise?
Buddy, these are blanks, but they still hurt like hell. It's ours! It's ours! We've taken Topeka! Yeah!
So Stan and Kyle and Grandpa Marsh realize that they need to stop Cartman from ruining history. And so they suggest that the men are drunk and they're going to return to town when they recover. So they're trying to devise a way. Now, in the meantime, we see Stan and Kyle first sitting at a bus stop waiting for their parents to come back from Topeka. And Butters gets off the bus, and he gives him a letter, and he reads the letter.
"Dear guys, words cannot express how much I hate you guys. As we fight our way northward into the great unknown, only that one thing remains certain, that I hate you guys with every tired muscle in my Confederate body. We have taken Topeka, and now I must rally the men onward to Missouri. Because I will not stop until we have won it all, and you guys are my slaves. Because I hate you guys. I hate you guys so very, very much. Yours, General Cartman Lee." God damn it, that fat piece of shit.
Here's Stan and Kyle. We are moving on to Missouri. I hate you guys.
I hate you guys.
I hate you guys. So he gives him the first letter. We get Sincerely yours, General Cartman Lee. So we get the first letter here from Eric Cartman. Now they're in the next part. They're in the midst of the battle, and as we mentioned, the National Guard shows up, and Stan and Kyle and Marvin Marsh eventually catch up with them as well. And the National Guard is like, "We have to stop these political activists." And Stan's like, "No, these guys aren't political activists. These guys are just drunk rednecks from a small town." He's like, "Well, I guess we can't really kill anybody here because there's women and children." And but they're like, in that regard, they're like, "Well, let's go ahead and fire off a warning flare." So they fire off a warning flare, and this ends up killing Kenny in the process. Medic! And they just come by with like a fire extinguisher. And then Stan goes, "Oh my God, they killed Kenny." And in this case, Marvin Marsh goes, "You bastard!" And then "Hey!" And you quickly see Marvin look over like, "Oh," like you took Kyle's punchline. I like that fourth wall break there. "Hey, you bastard! God damn it, Billy! We gotta stop and get them to get the shots."
Whoa, Billy!
they devise a plan that the only way to get this war to come to a conclusion is to remove the alcohol, right? And so they're hanging out in the tents now, all drunk. And Jimbo walks into General Lee's tent and he says, we've taken whatever. Where should we go next? And he said, where did the Confederacy go next? He said, well, I guess they ended up going to Fort Sumner. He's like, all right, well, then let's go to Fort Sumner. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to get some more schnapps. Do you want anything? He's like, can I get some of the animal crackers with the fashion on it?
Sure.
And so as he walks out, he unfortunately finds out that all the schnapps has been taken by the National Guard and Stan Kyle. And they don't have any more schnapps, guys. So 7 hours later, as it says on the screen, 7 hours later, they are now not drunk. They're hungover, right? Throwing up. They're, that was the longest bender I've ever been on. Stan and Kyle are like, yes, it's going to work, right? And so after that binge wears off, they decide, let's go ahead and head back to South Park. So at this point, like, Stan and Kyle think they've won. They're like, ha ha, we got you, fat ass. And then Kyle's about to go into some speech, or no, Stan's about to go into some speech. I've learned something here today. And just as he's in the midst of doing that, as all the men are walking toward the bus stop or wherever they're walking off to, Cartman notices a phone booth, just happens to be there, and the empty s'mores box. And he ends up calling the s'mores. He runs off. Hey, where are you going? So he runs off, grabs the s'mores box, he calls them, and then immediately as the men continue to walk, all of a sudden 2 semi-trucks show up with I'm assuming it was a German female. They were parodying a German lady. And she, but don't you want to take shots out of my boobs to celebrate? So Jim was, well, I guess we, right? And Jim was, well, I guess we could do that.
I guess we could do that.
Hello, I am Suzette, the S'more Snaps girl. We are pleased to sponsor you with all the S'more Snaps you need.
I can't drink any more of that stuff.
Me neither.
Come on, guys. Just one little drink. A toast to how far you came and all that you saw.
Yes, please, 2 shots out of my breasts. Well, I guess one little cheers is in order.
So Cartman's like, come on, take a shot. Have a drink. You've come. Yeah, yeah. So he gets them immediately all riled back up. They're all drunk. And he says, gentlemen, we must now take Fort Sumner. You heard the general on to Fort Sumner. So unfortunately, Stan and Kyle were unable to stop them there. So at this point, Cartman and everyone, you see them on the map. I like this part. They're like showing him go down the map in different areas. And you can see that they went to Florida. So good for Cartman. He got to go to Walt Disney World, I'm assuming, because he went down the log ride. Oh, he did the log ride.
Yeah, pretty sweet. Yeah, pretty
or it could have been Universal, either or. But, he got to go to a theme park. So, that, at that point, this whole trip was worth it, right?
Oh, yeah.
This point on now, they're in Fort Sumner. And they're at Fort Sumner, and they're like, there's like a tour guide or whatever. And he's all talking to the tourist. He's like, now imagine.
You're a Union soldier stationed at this fort, and one day you look out and see thousands of Confederates ready to pounce on you.
Take the fort! George!
Confederate men looking back at you. And then everybody in the tourism group looks up and they end up seeing that there is in fact hundreds, maybe to 1,000 Confederate soldiers about to charge in. And they easily, of course, come in and take it because this is not like a well-kept fort anymore. It's just a memorial landmark, right? A historical landmark and whatnot owned by the South Carolina Chamber of Commerce. And the National Guard then eventually do show up, and Cartman is arguing back and forth with Stan and Kyle. Stan and Kyle are like, it's over, fat ass. The National Guard's here. They outnumber you. And Cartman started talking, and Cartman's like, well, I called in the state of Carolina. Somebody's bound to show up. And then all of a sudden, just as the National Guard is about to bring out the mortar, the whole state of Carolina, South Carolina shows up. We're with you. The South will ride again.
That's like you guys have seen Idiocracy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when they're having the assembly in front of Congress, and the dude interrupts President Camacho. It's South Carolina. It's always South Carolina.
It's South Carolina.
Hey, shut up, South Carolina. What's up?
That's right.
South Carolina will ride again. So that's what the animated figures in this episode portrayed of a lowly, maybe low IQ individual who has an affinity for only of the white complexion, otherwise known as a goddamn racist.
Goddamn racist.
Southport route again now, so they are now. Cartman's like, we now have enough to march on DC, take Washington D.C. So they march to Washington D.C. You see an aide. What was a early rendition of Al Gore, I'm so ethereal, and Bill Clinton. God damn it! I don't know what I should do. Should I let him secede from the United States? Because Cartman sends a letter. Yeah, Mr. President. There are times. When we must separate. You must have our freedom.
Dear Mr. President, there are times when humans can no longer endure their government's authority. You must declare the Confederacy its own nation so that we may enter into a new millennium of prosperity. If you do not meet our demands, we will be forced to show the videotapes we have of you with Marissa Tomei.
Oh, dear God. We have to meet their demands.
What? Sir, there's not that many of them.
As vice president, I think we better give them what they want. It's just the southern states who really needs them.
Because I do not like that guy. Because I hate those guys so very much. Until they are happening. Oh no, he says, if you do not let us succeed, we will show that video of you and Marissa Tomei. And then Bill Clinton, oh goddamn it, what? Oh, what? So Bill Clinton's like, we gotta do what they say. And Al Gore's like, Al Gore's like, I agree. And then the chief's aide is like, what? Are you really want to do that? And Al Gore's like, do not question the president of the United States. It's just the southern states, Mr. President. Not like it really matters. Which I think is unironic in this case, because the southern states actually kind of do matter in this election that we're in right now, between the douche and a turd. And that's what we're.
You got to remember, he's saying that to a president who's from Arkansas. So it was a multi-layered joke.
That's good. That's pretty bad. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Well, Clinton eventually decides, yes, we're going to go ahead and do this. So I also forgot to mention there was at one point Cartman does write a letter
to Kenny's mother. Oh my God.
Dear Miss McCormick, it is with a very heavy heart that I must inform you that your son Kenny was killed in battle on the morning of November 18th at Ruby Hills Funland in Chattanooga. This war has taken something from all of us, and although your son appears to be the only casualty so far, know that we all share your pain. Your son did not die in vain. I shall persevere and make Stan and Kyle my slaves, because I hate those guys. I hate them so very, very much. Yours, General Cartman Lee.
So yeah, I didn't want to forget that part. So now,
so good.
Now they have the literal million-man march in front of the Capitol and the White House and all that jazz, and with no other options left, President Clinton's about to sign the surrender to the South. And then Stan and Kyle are upset about it, and Marvin, their grandfather's like, you kids don't know nothing about history, do you? This is more about you guys having to be slaves. This is about rewriting it. We got to smart. These guys think they're all still in a reenactment. We got to smarten you kids up. So he has Stan dress up as Ulysses S. Grant, right? And then has Kyle, the Jewish kid, dress up as, I just wanted to point that out because it's kind of funny, Abraham Lincoln. And
it was Jefferson Davis.
Oh, Jefferson Davis. I don't know.
Yeah, it was the president of the Confederacy. U.S. Grant. U.S. Grant was a Union general.
Oh.
Ulysses S. Grant was a Union general and then became a president.
Well, my bad, Mr. Grant, but fuck this out. So Jefferson Davis, like you said, not South Park, but nine. And all, by the way, if you also live in the South, we're not saying fuck you. We're saying fuck you to the South of 1861. I just want to make that very clear.
And the racists. Fuck racists.
And the racists.
My favorite thing to do on Red Dead Redemption 2 is find the clan meeting and shoot it up.
You can do that in the game?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, like if you ride around.
I was at freaking GameStop the other day, and that game is still $59.99. It's like, God damn, I want it. I'm not paying $60.
Rockstar.
Well, like if I want a Grand Theft Auto, like I've bought that game 2 or 3 times and sold it, bought it, and sold it. But like that game's at least $20-30 now, and they still have online play. But like, goddamn, at least drop Red Dead Redemption so I can play it.
Right, like I might buy a GTA 5 and a third time myself.
See, that's what I'm saying. Well, back to this now. Jefferson Davis and Abraham Lincoln. Right, Abraham Lincoln reenact the whatever it was, the conclusion of the war, the Civil War. Cartman's like, "What the hell is going on? What the hell are you guys doing?" And Jim was like, "Oh, you can't talk to Jefferson Davis like that. You can't talk to Superior." So they conclude, and Jefferson Davis, aka Stan, says that we concede, and that our demands have been met, and that they will get 1 year of schnapps free for a whole year. And they're like, "Ooh, 1 year of schnapps, huh?" And they're like, "All right, we gave her what we wanted." They all start dispersing. And Cartman's like, "Wait, where the hell are you going?" He's like, "The war's over. Jefferson Davis and Lincoln signed a treaty." So Bill Clinton's like, "So I don't have to sign this? What the hell is going on?" He still doesn't understand what's going on. And so now Kyle then runs up to Cartman. Now we can take off that stupid beard, rips the beard off of his face. Cartman yells so loud that you can see it goes into different dimensions, such as the Marklars and where the aliens were living.
Yeah, and now you can take that stupid beard off.
And then Cartman Kyle and Stan explain you're going to be our slave for a month. And then Cartman realizes quickly, Bill Clinton comes up. He's like, "I just want to thank you boys for helping me everything you did." And he has his hands on Stan. Stan goes, "Don't touch me."
Boys, as President of the United States, I want to commend you for stopping the rebel uprising.
Don't touch me.
That was great. I love that part.
And then at the conclusion of this, Cartman realizes that if the Union wins, if the North wins, then slavery is abolished. And Bill Clinton's like, "That's right. Slavery is immoral and disavowed, and therefore it is illegal." And Kyle's like, "Oh, God damn it." And they're like, "Come on, let's get the hell out of here." And then Kyle's like, "Yeah, thanks, Dick." And that's how the episode ends. So that was South Park's rendition of the Red Badge Gayness, which was season 3, episode number 14. We already went through What Did Kenny Say? So, Stu, why don't you start us off with some of that trivia?
This episode aired shortly after the suicide of Mary Kay Bergman, who voiced most of the female characters. No female characters had any lines in this episode apart from S'more Schnapps Girl, who was voiced by Trey Parker, since a new female voice artist wasn't cast immediately out of respect. That's sad. This episode began the change in Cartman's voice, particularly during the bulk of the episode where he speaks using a southern accent. Kyle and Kenny alternate between holding their flutes correctly to the side and incorrectly, down like a recorder. Oh shit, I noticed that. That's funny. I just realized that. I thought one was actually playing it clearly. Didn't realize they were both playing. Anyway, the visitor's home planet is seen, as well as Starvin Marvin's new home, Marklar, when Kenny rips Cartman's beard off. When Kenny is killed, Marvin Marsh says, "You bastards! You bastards!" before Kyle can. Al Gore has a totally different appearance later in Man Bear Pig. Stuart McCormick says he has to go to work. However, he is unemployed in chickenpox. It is likely he found employment through a part-time or temporary job.
Day labor.
Initially, Priest Maxie, Stuart McCormick, Jimbo, and Ned, bartender, Mr. Garrison, and Butters reenact the Confederacy. The boys Randy, Gerald, and Chef reenact the Union. So moving into the pop culture, which is not very much. We just got a couple things here. The actor's sponsor, Jergmans, is
the alcohol
spoof of Jägermeister. Oh, the alcohol sponsor. What did I say?
Jägermans.
Actor. He's the actor. Yeah. The alcohol sponsor, Jägermans, is the spoof of Jägermeister.
The title is a reference to the book The Red Bridge of Courage by Stephen Crane.
Red Badge. You said bridge.
Damn it.
Much dyslexic we are.
I know, right?
Much dyslexic am I.
Smoking too much green. It's the title's a reference to the book The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane, which is set in the American Civil War. All right, Joe, why don't you tell us some of your top moments in this episode? I didn't write it down, but what do you like?
The letter Cartman writes to Mrs. McCormick is not only one of my favorite moments in this episode, it's probably one of my favorite moments in the entire series because it just shows the levels that Cartman is willing to go to just to spite Stan and Kyle. And then the other thing I really liked about this episode, which makes it relevant and poignant still today, is that it shows just how easily masses can be influenced. I mean, yeah, he gets them all loaded up on alcohol and everything, but that's neither really here nor there. Like, they don't need to be drunk to be, but like it shows. And Cartman does this so many more times throughout the series, though, too, where he just like exploits the cult of personality or whatever it is. It's clobbering time.
I know you're angry. Yeah. So that is some of your top likes. Who put How Kenny Dies? Was that you, Scoop?
Yeah, that was me.
Okay, that was a good point. I like how he died, right? Because it was like a flare that went off and it just
poof. And then when Marvin is like, "You bastard," and Kyle, "Hey," that's just it's classic.
Yeah, it's classic. Jimbo, of course, got a lot of storyline in this episode. He was one of the main pivotal characters, and he was at times very humorous. I found him to be a very good supporting character to Cartman. And it's a shame that we really haven't seen too much of that over the course of the series, because I think Cartman and Jimbo itself is a good pairing. You know what I have? I had a thought as I was watching the election play out here, and I know we're going back to the election, but I'm going to tie it to South Park here. Mr. Garrison, okay, if Joe Biden is successful and we get the return of Mr. Garrison, do you guys think Cartman's going to have more respect for Mr. Garrison now? Because technically Mr. Garrison would be someone Cartman probably would end up being. And at the conclusion of that pandemic special, while Cartman was, what he unwillingly eventually did give Stan the pangolin, Mr. Garrison showed up and flamethrowed it. So technically Cartman still got what he wanted.
I'm sure there's going to be some point where Cartman's like, "Come on, you guys, lay off Garrison. He's fucking cool." Or something like that.
It'd be great to see if they give him back his job, but I just don't see that. I don't think he's going to come back as the teacher, but it would be great.
Like it just comes back and nothing ever happened.
What happened?
Oh my God, that'd be amazing. Where were you the last 4 years? Huh?
Oh, no. Oh, just come back like pretending like he didn't, like he wasn't. Yeah. No, I think it would be better is if he, right before he knows he's about to lose his office, fires PC principal, so that way he comes in and now Mr. Garrison is the principal. So you still have your authoritative figure of Mr. Garrison in the show, and you still have a way to keep him in the show. So
I dig it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mind PC principal, but PC principal and the strong woman never really got into as far as their side stuff. Like his initial stuff of, "Are you PC, bro?" That was a great thing. And then his one-off little appearance in the background, great. But like his whole strong woman and the PC babies, not a big fan of the PC babies, to be honest. I get what it is. Not a big fan though. As far as some of my top likes, of course, I enjoyed Cartman throughout this whole episode. He's the star, as I mentioned, and you guys put as your character development. Stan and Kyle didn't really have the biggest roles here. They were trying to play, catch him if you can the whole time with Cartman as they're trying to catch up to him and persuade him to end this charade. And I just like this the whole episode itself. It's a very funny, humorous episode. So we don't really have any top dislikes.
One of those.
So
I dislike that this is the last good episode of season 3.
Season 3. Well, yeah.
That's my dislike.
It's going to be a challenge the next couple episodes, boys, as we have to review them here. Mr. Hankey's Christmas Classic. His Christmas Classic episodes. Now, there is only there is a good song in there. There's a couple good songs in there with Cartman.
It's
like
a better album than it is an episode.
It's a better album than it is an episode, 100%, because it's just straight up a music episode. So that's going to be a challenge probably for us to review that here on YouTube. I hadn't thought about that actually, because that whole episode is a freaking musical. So it might be a challenge for us to review. I mean, we can talk about it, but really it's just music. So there's not, I mean, we can talk about the lyrics. We can talk about the lyrics. I mean, one of the funniest songs in that episode is
Cradle.
I was going to say, oh, you're right. Because Cartman pops in at the end. Jews, they're super lame. Jews, they're super gay. Or something like that.
I'll try to make it spin if fell. I'm not going to sing any more of it so we don't get blocked.
Right. So that'll come out here in the next week or so. And then, of course, you can check out the library, the litany of content, our back catalog of content. But before we go, does this make Ski Top 25?
Sure fucking does. God damn it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Top 25. Right here on Suck My Balls.
Joe, does this make Joe's top 20?
Yeah.
Does this make Joe's top 10?
It does.
Does this make Joe's top 5?
It actually might. Like, I have to sit down and probably think about it a little more, but this is probably top 5. It's just one of those episodes that, like, I always go back to mentally.
This is definitely in my top 20, 100%. It's in my top 20. So, as we all agreed, great episode. Probably one of the highlight episodes of season 3.
Yeah.
And we look forward to season 4, but we will struggle to get through the rest of season 3 for you and every listener that continues to join us each and every week, because our numbers, we legitimately say our numbers are increasing. It's not like they go up by hundreds or thousands, but they steadily, slowly go up 10s to 20 every week. So we appreciate you guys listening, sharing. We appreciate Hami Media Group, a street team. They've been sharing a lot of our stuff. So thanks for that, guys. Also, shout out, of course, to Rat Salad Review and R&R Pod Network for hosting our shows. I will actually be on RTW Rewind with the owner of Rad Rob R&R Pod Network, which is now available on hackerhami.podbean.com this Sunday. So it's about a 2.5 hour conversation. Really fun conversation. Not a lot of wrestling talk. I mean, we did talk wrestling and stuff like that. Some of my favorite stuff, how I got into wrestling and whatnot. But it's just more like a 2 to 2.5 hour chat. Two guys just talking bullshit back and forth, and we had good chemistry. So I thought the podcast was good. So check that out. You can also check me out on the Impact Attack. I host that every week on hackerhami.podbean.com or hackerhami on all media outlets. The Like the Fuse podcast, same platform. And of course, I also edit the New Force Order podcast, which is on that same platform. And I also edit the Smack Attack, which is on that same platform. And then I also edit the Star Trek Academy podcast, which is on HamiMediaGroup.podbean.com. Also work full-time as master control operator for a bunch of news stations. So there you go. My name is Matthew Shafra. I'm your host of The Scene with the Ear is Clean. I'm lighting up green. Your boy MSG. Got any parting words for us today, buddy?
Stay high, motherfucker.
All right. Dirty Joe, what do you know?
I know a lot of things. Courtney, wait, I'll save that for next.
Courtney,
I love you. You're so hot.
Okay, Joe,
yeah.
plug it away so we can go on about our day.
I got nothing to plug. I'm good to go this week.
I guess we're done. Suck my balls, ladies and gentlemen. Guys are so nasty at the end.
Oh, yeah. You know how I like it.
What is that? It's my bone. God damn it, Cartman.
How would you like to suck my balls?
What did you say?
I'm sorry. Actually, what I said was, how would you like to suck my balls, Mr. Darcy? Holy shit, dude.